Access granted.
Welcome to the Geek Speak Show, to the issues of the day for this month. Yeah, it seems like we just did it a few weeks ago. That's because we did. But it's, well, I'll tell you why. This is also the final Geek Speak Show episode. For a couple weeks. Relax. We're not going anywhere. Well, we are, maybe. We're going to take a little summer break, although it's not officially summer yet. We're going to take a little break. Break from recording episodes. It's going to be a hive of activity over here in the Geek Speak studios because, as you know, we've got this little gathering in San Diego that we're all getting ready for. So are we. We have our own event, the Geek Speak Expo. We're going to get ready for that. We're going to get ready for my favorite time of the year. It's when it starts getting cooler, hopefully, and Halloween, the Geek Speak treats, and everything that comes with October and Halloween on the Geek Speak show. And then this little franchise, science fiction franchise, turned 60. There's a special episode we're planning for that. There's a lot of stuff going on is what I'm saying. So because of that, I just need time to sit back and catch my breath, although not really. But you won't hear us for a couple of weeks. We're not going anywhere, so don't start any, hey, the Geek Speak show ended. No, it didn't. We're just taking a little break, from recording episodes, but we'll keep doing some other stuff. You'll see it when we come back in July, right before that little gathering that we're probably all going to be at in San Diego. You know what it's called. But for today, like I said, it is the issues of the day episode. And we're here. We, of course, is Emily and myself. Sean Clent is here, but he's not here. He's here in California, but he's not here physically in front of me like he usually is. He's actually at one of his own events. You're going to see what that is. It's a spooky, it's a paranormal one. Speaking of October, it's not even October yet, but he's still doing he's battling demons, as he always talks about. But he's doing that. You can watch all that over on his channel. But Emily is here, but it's not just Emily and me. This time, we invited a friend, a special guest. And no, not Geek Off the Street. Somebody you're going to enjoy a little bit more than them. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but you'll see as we get going in this conversation. Because as we get into this, you'll see why she had to be on. And she is, a lot of you know her as Linz from Linz Soapbox. A lot of you are following. If you're not, it's on the show description. Click it, follow. You can thank me later. So first of all, let's welcome her to the episode. Linz, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here, finally.
Yeah. Well, you're going to see how excited that you're actually going to get in a second because the topic I'm going to bring up. But before we do that, let's get everybody, if this is, and I actually learned this from someone we all know, Stan Lee. I've got him, not him, but a picture of Stan Lee here in the studio. This is the Marvel way. He talked about this many times in interviews that he did and some documentaries and stuff that he did. The Marvel way of doing comic books was they always treated every comic book as somebody's first comic. Even if it was an ongoing story, it's somebody's first comic, and we always introduced them to the Marvel way, it's what Stan always said. So we're going to do that. So if somebody is hearing about you, seeing you for the first time, you tell them in your own words, what is Linz and Linz Soapbox? What are you all about? And maybe you can kind of guess from what's behind it. What are you all about?
What am I all about? I'm literally all about Marvel. That's both content that I do is basically on Marvel. I love Marvel so much. I post about comics. I love reading comics, but I also love figure collecting, and then also the movies, of course.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to ask you, but that gets into a 2-hour conversation. So a quick answer. Sounds like everything, but is there one that you like more than the other? Whether the films, TV shows, comic books, collecting, is there one that you like more than the other?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard question. I feel like, I grew up with the movies. That's like everything to me. But then recently, or like a few years ago, I started reading comics, and like that was like life changing. But then also figure collecting. I don't know. I love them all.
Yeah, definitely one of us. So you can see what's behind Linz, behind Emily. I think we've had this background before. You can tell by Emily's background. All three of us, obviously. Well, and I have a different background today, but we all are excited about July 31st. It's when a certain movie comes out. It's a superhero that we three all like, Spider-Man. But what I want to talk about today, and this is again why I invited Linz to join us, is we had another I don't even want to say false alarm because it was all you guys, not YouTube, but I mean you guys watching us and listening to us as the microphone runs away. But it was you guys watching that caused all this. Last week, or I think 2 weeks ago now, South by Southwest in London happened, and there was a Marvel presentation, and the Russos, they posted on their social media, there's going to be a surprise tomorrow at 2 p.m. London time. Right away, all the no bros, meaning, hey, I know, bro, it's going to happen tomorrow. We're going to get a trailer tomorrow. They didn't say that. They didn't say there's a trailer. They just said a surprise. You guys right away jumped to the conclusion, it's got to be the trailer. We're getting the trailer. Because they know. No should be N-O, usually, how right they are about things. But the point is, you didn't get it. You didn't get the trailer. This is the second time. You did get and I keep saying it wasn't a trailer at CinemaCon. It was a sizzle reel. That's what most people take. Some trailers do get premiered there, but it's usually sizzle reels that you get. Because CinemaCon, except for this year, because everywhere Marvel goes, it turns into an event. But CinemaCon is really for movie theater owners, so that studios can show them what movies are coming, and so they can get ready for how they're going to handle it in their movie theaters. They've been showing the popcorn buckets that seem to be a big thing now. They do that there, but everyone thought you were going to get a trailer, the Doomsday trailer there. Didn't happen. Well, the people that were there, they did see something. It was a sizzle reel. That wasn't a trailer, I can tell you that. And then at South by Southwest London, you all thought it's going to happen, which leads me to the first topic. And again, why I had to have Linz join is Emily and Sean Clay and I, we've talked about this before privately and on some of the episodes. So let's bring it out. Let's throw it out in the open, see what we say. And Linz, again, I invited her for this. Let me ask all of you, and start with you two. Do we, not us, but we, Marvel fans, MCU fans, do you really need a trailer, and anything for Doomsday? Are you telling me that if you don't get a trailer before Brand New Day comes out, because, in case you forgot, there's a movie coming out before Doomsday. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But if you don't get a trailer before that, are you telling me you're not excited about Doomsday? To quote Kevin Hart, really? Yeah, I don't think so. So either one of you jump on and answer that question. Do we need a trailer for a movie like this? Or, yeah, no, we're okay, we don't. So whoever wants to take it, jump in.
Emily, go first.
Oh, okay. Well, I think for me, I personally don't feel like we need a trailer. I think I want to be surprised by anything that's going to happen in this movie. I think we already, whatever things that they have given us so far, I think that's all I personally need, to be honest. I don't think I need more, like, oh, this is going to happen. Oh my God, so what was this? What's going to happen from this clip? And I just want to come into the movie theater and just ultimately just be surprised, to be honest.
Okay, well, I mean, before you jump in, Linz, let me throw this out. Let's be honest. Let's keep it 1,000, not 100. Is it whatever we get shown? Is it really going to be a surprise? I mean, I don't know. What you guys weren't there with us. Sean Clenn's not here, but he was there. Our team was there. We were there when RDJ took off his mask, and we felt the reaction to that. So yeah, you're excited. You know who's behind that mask. That's not a surprise. I mean, what could they possibly show you that could get you more excited for this movie?
I don't know, honestly.
What was that, Linz?
Nothing.
Oh, you going to say give us a spoiler or something? No,
I was going to say more women. Show us more women, and I'll get super excited.
Well, wait. How so? See, now you open up a whole new thing there. How so? What do you mean?
I know I'm sidetracking. Just more women. I love more women. I love seeing more women.
Just women in general, or any specific woman that you're thinking about?
Just in general, all women. All the women. Bring them all along.
Okay.
Add their chairs.
Emily, what say you to that? Because we've had those kind of conversations before too. So what say you about that?
No, and that's like really good, actually. I agree with Linz when it comes to adding more women to the trailers to what is being currently shown for this movie. Um, I'm kind of curious with you, Linz. Who would you want as a superhero? Like any of the supers? Because I know it feels like we have a bit of a lineup when it comes to um all the people that are going to be in this movie. But is there anybody specific that you would like to see at least something of a trailer for?
Carol Danvers. That's the one that comes to mind. Monica Rambeau also. I think I don't remember how many women were announced during the chairs, but I remember being like, "Where's the women? I want the women." I think Carol Danvers comes to mind because I'm like, I, I I would like to see her again. I like to see her again. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I think they kind of have to play a role. I mean, Monica Rambeau for sure. I mean, many people may not remember because it was what 3-4 years ago, or maybe more now. But at the end of the Marvels, she's and getting into spoiler territory here, but she's stuck in one of the universes that is going to be affected by the events in Doomsday. So I think we kind of have to see Monica Rambeau. But as you guys were talking, I was thinking, I think that there's no ulterior motive other than if they show you some of the women, might get a little bit spoiler, and you people guess anyway, and when you see it, like, oh, I know what the story is going to be, so that may be the reason why they're holding back on that.
True. But it's kind of like, I don't know, that Linz brings up a good point when it comes to showing what female characters will be in this movie. And like also they're an essential role to it because of course we had when it came to Infinity War, Black Widow played a pivotal role, of course, into Endgame. But yeah, I'm curious about like the leading women of this movie.
I mean, why was one of them up there the whole time? She could have been down there helping him, but yeah, it's a whole other thing. But yeah, so there's that. Now, well, Linz, you didn't really say too much. I mean, say your part before I jump in because I kind of want to take it in a different direction that is kind of tied into all of this. I want a trailer talk. So say whatever you have to say other than more women, and then I'll jump in.
Yeah, so I think for me, I mean, ideally with any Marvel movie, it would be nice to like go into it without knowing absolutely anything or like without a trailer or whatever the case may be. But I think obviously we need one, right? Or, marketing purposes. So I think, what was the question again? Why do we need a trailer?
No. That was actually perfect. You're on the right track. Yeah, you're actually going into what I was about to bring up because I was going to ask that. I was smiling when you were saying that because without a time machine, we can't have that anymore. Even J.J. Abrams has a couple of movies coming out later this year. The first one we've seen 2 trailers for, The End of Oak Street. And it is kind of J.J. Abrams-y where, his mystery box and you really don't know what it is. Now we kind of know it's about dinosaurs. But he has his movie directed by J.J. Abrams. And that one we know absolutely nothing about. I think we will next month, just saying. So J.J. seems to be the only one that knows how to play that mystery box game. But as far as everybody else, this is the part that I hate, and this is where I want to take this conversation. Not do we need a trailer, but do we need not even trailers, but do we just need so much stuff? Everybody lives on social media, but have you noticed, and I'm sure you have, every single like what's out this weekend? Well, we just had Disclosure Day last weekend. What's coming up? Oh, Toy Story 5 is coming up next. So we haven't really seen too much, but I guarantee you, if we haven't by now, by Wednesday when this episode is out, we're gonna start seeing not just trailers, not just interviews, but clips. And here's a sneak peek of the movie. Here's a special scene from. Why don't you just show the whole movie? And in that case, I think people know movies are coming out, and if they want to see it, they're gonna go see it. Because I'm not a filmmaker, but I always find it funny how they have all these clips, all these trailers. There's a exclusive scene from Fandango or from movie or whoever from studio so and so. Here's a special screen. Here's this channel. Here's this influencer showing you this special screen, and then they wonder, but you guys all followed it and liked it and all that. How come the box office is only $10? Well, it's either one of two things. It's either you overdid it and they saw the whole movie and it's I'll just wait till streaming. Or they just didn't care about it to begin with. So That's what I wanted to take this conversation. It's not do we need trailers for not just for Doomsday but for any movie, but there's all this talk, especially with Obsession and back rooms, that this is the new way of Hollywood and all that. I don't think so. I think what changed Hollywood, and this happened a while ago, was you guys, not you two, but the way you guys behave, where it's cool to hate everything because everything is woke, or kind of like what Lindsay brought up. Well, I don't like it because it's a woman in the lead role, like that's gonna end the world or something. Or I don't like it because it's a person of color and they don't look like me. Well, again, look at me. You actually can see me this time. You can see all three of us. I don't look anything like Luke Skywalker, yet I saw a lot of me in Luke Skywalker. I saw someone being Chewbacca. I sure don't look like Chewbacca at all, but it's not physically looking like me. I can identify with whatever their story is, whatever journey they're going on. That's what it was. So all this social media stuff, it's changing not the way you make movies, but the way you market them. And I think they're not going to admit it because that's just Hollywood is always 90 steps behind. But I think we're seeing that we're getting to a point where, like most anything that humans put their hands on, it's too much. We're overbloated on marketing. We know Doomsday is coming. Do we really need a trailer? Maybe one, like, oh, cool, I can't wait to see that. And that's it. Silence after that. Because, again, the internet is going to break this week when Brand New Day tickets go on sale. It's going to be annihilated when Doomsday tickets go on sale. It will. All of you always say, I'm not excited about the MCU. The MCU is mid, yet it's always sold out. I wonder who's going. Go to Hall H. 10,000 people are still hoping to get in. So, yeah, I can tell you guys really hate it. But my point is, you guys jump in. Do you agree with that, or is that just me showing my age? Oh, Henry, you're just old. You don't get social media. Or is there too much stuff on social media now? For movies, I mean.
See, what I found interesting, Henry, is that it's what you just said, I think, almost perfectly, like, and I don't want to transition quite yet into it because I know we're going to finish this thought, but what you just said about, having a woman lead movie exactly kind of talks about what I wanted to talk about when it came to Supergirl and kind of like the trailers, the marketing, and some of the content that I feel like I've been seeing more so of when it comes to this character. But just to wrap up the thought of like trailers, too much stuff, I totally agree. I feel like we have a lot of stuff. And when I went to go see Disclosure Day when it first came out, and I felt like the trailer that we got for that movie was just good enough, to be honest. It didn't reveal too much of the story. I felt like when I first saw the trailer, I was like, what is this movie even about? I got bits and pieces, but I think that is what got me to want to see this movie. It's like, okay, it's Steven Spielberg. Okay, but it's all this like kind of jumbled up pieces of something. And it's like, okay, I gotta go see this. I gotta go check it out. What is this movie?
Well, I want to say something about Disclosure Day, but Lindsay, you jump in before we're going to go all over the place, but
Okay.
Lindsay, you jump in first.
I was gonna say yes, I agree. I think especially with Marvel, because like that's what I'm familiar with. But I think, like, for example, they'll release the teaser trailer. I'll watch that, and then they start adding like little snippets, like they start adding more clips, right? They start releasing more clips, and those are the ones like I avoid. I try to only watch like the teaser and then the official, because then I feel like all the other little clips are like, I don't know, like I feel like if it gets to a point where like I can eventually start piecing things together, and I'm like, So yeah, I agree that like I think there's just way too much being released, and it would be nice. It would be nice to like go into the movie and not know as much, at least,
I know I'm going to forget because like I said, I'm going to say something about Disclosure Day because Emily, you made me think of something. But both of you remember this, bookmark it so we can wrap up with this topic with this. When I say, what was I talking about? Just one of you reminded me, is there a different way to market films? Just remember that, somebody. But what I was going to say about Disclosure Day, let me give full disclosure, not day, just minute, second, whatever. I went through that too. I remember we talked about it the week before it came out. I think it was last week before it came out. Disclosure. We were Emily and I, we were talking about that. Not on the show, just privately. But I wasn't excited about Disclosure Day when I knew it was coming, but I wasn't that excited about it. But then when I started seeing the interviews, especially that interview, speaking of South by Southwest London, the one Spielberg did there, and I told you, I said I wasn't excited about Disclosure Day, but the way he said things, this look that he had, like I know something, but I'm not gonna tell you. Wink, wink. I remember you were laughing even, and you said because I said, "Dang it, Spielberg, you made me want to go see your movies again." However, and I blame you guys, not you two, but everybody on social media again, like we just talked. Not even the day, that morning, that Friday morning when it came out, last Friday morning, because it just came out last weekend. But that Friday morning, and I try to avoid social media, but kind of, I'm gonna show my age here. Back in my time, not even my time, like in my dad's time or my grandparents' time, the morning routine was you would get your newspaper, you would get your coffee, and you would read, whatever the sports page or whatever the newspaper was. Today, it's going through your feed, through your social media feed, whatever you follow, whatever your algorithm shows you. And mine, of course, is all about movies and comics. I wonder why. But that's what my algorithm shows me. And the first thing I got, and I try to avoid them, like Lynn said a second ago, I try to avoid them, but sometimes you just can't. It's just there. You try to swipe away, but too late. You saw it. Reactions, spoiler-filled reactions to Disclosure Day. And it was all, guys, don't go, because there were two camps, I will say. There was I'll call him the crazy camp, the ones that like he's trying to make me forget my faith and blah 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 blah. No movie's gonna make me forget my faith. Like, okay, you do you. Then there were the other ones that were completely spoiling it. Guys, this is the most boring movie. It's a shame because there's really nothing to this movie. It didn't talk about anything, and just like Spielberg made me want to watch it with what he said, those things, and it never happens, is the only one said, I can wait till streaming. So it does affect you. Even someone like me who is old and I don't listen to social media, and I did this time, and I waited. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Disclosure Day yet. So yeah, I can wait. I mean, maybe if I not that I don't like it, I like the first three, I'll say, Toy Story movies. I'm not really interested in this one. My kids aren't kids. They say theirs ended with 3. That was a perfect ending. They don't care about the 4 doesn't exist to them, and they don't really care about this one. So we don't have to go see it because we don't have kids in my family. So maybe I might want to go see Masters of the Universe again, or if not, then we'll go see Disclosure Day. But yes, that. When you said that, I was Emily. When you said that, I was smiling because yes, what Linz was saying. There's too much stuff, and then there's this and this clip and that clip and the special scene and all that, and that makes me. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. A lot of people makes me like, well, again, like Lynn said, I can kind of put together like who the villain is, and there's gonna be a twist, and I've seen the whole movie. I don't need to go see it, and that's why Hollywood suffers. Not because of Netflix or streaming or whatever. No, it's because of our behavior. Online, our behavior online is what it affects it. So, see, this is why I had to remember. What did I tell you to remember so we can wrap up this part?
Is there a different way to market movies?
Yeah, and that's how I want to wrap it up with both of you. I mean, both of you are the next generation of creatives. And there's little plug that there's a panel about that at our Geek Speak Expo that you might want to be there and listen to that. But here's a little tease from the two of you. You two represent the next generation of creatives. How would you market what you do? Lindsay, your platform. Emily, your art, your comics, your maybe books, comic books. Hint, hint. But how would you market it to without overdoing it on social media?
See, that's the thing when it comes to, my sector. I can only speak for comic books and, that kind of realm. But yeah, it's really just trying to give people just a minimal touch of what your comic book's going to be about, not like the villains. Like that's what I've been doing so far with my graphic novel, Mira. I've only given people sort of like the taste of the first 6 pages, which really is just an introduction to what's the playing field, what is it, what's the land that they're on, what's kind of going on, what just a really a taste of what the whole kind of story is going to be about. But that's kind of the only thing you could really do as a comic book creator. is, you know, you can only give so much away. Because if you give people the whole book and you're like, oh, would you like to buy this? And they already flipped through the entire book and they're like, I'm okay. You got to create that kind of mystery of, oh, well, what is this book? I can only read this, just only this much. Well, what's the rest of the whole thing going to be about? It creates that intrigue about the whole rest of the story.
So you're saying JJ was right in the mystery box? I mean, I've always said that. I've always been a JJ fan, even before he took on Star Trek and Star Wars. I've always been a JJ Abrams fan, which is it's a good and bad thing. It's good because, yeah, he does some cool things sometimes, but it's bad because I knew exactly where Star Trek was going to go, and it did. I knew exactly where Star Wars was going to go, and it did. So he's great at starting and creating that mystery, like you said, but really, really sucks at sticking the landing, as they say. But I was smiling actually as I really want to hear your answer now, Lindsay, because I just realized, well, you're kind of stuck because yours is on social media online. So like, where else are you going to tell people to go watch you?
See, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like we're too far down. We're too far down at this point, so I really don't know. And I don't know, because I think it's interesting because I'm like the people who are like seeing all these clips and stuff. I feel like it's us, like the people that are already invested, you know. So I'm like, I don't know if like people who are not in the realm of Marvel are like seeing all these things, you know. So I feel like I don't know if like let's say we were to step back and like, or if they were to step back and like not push the marketing as much on like social media, like I don't know if it would change anything, like you said, like who's if they're gonna go see or if not. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I would say just I would just say stop posting as much, but you know, there's bigger things on the line, or like, you know, like that's the point of marketing, especially on social media. Like that's like always constantly pumping out, you know. So I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna put pressure on you, or the spotlight, not pressure, although it does come with pressure. But I'm gonna put the spotlight on you, Linz. Emily, you can jump in and help her if you want to, but you're gonna be put on your, forget your Linz soapbox hat. You're gonna put on your marketing director hat. Let's say Secret Wars. Doomsday is already coming out. Secret Wars, not the comic book behind you, but the movie Secret Wars. From everything you've seen so far, the way it's been marketed, the way people are responded to that marketing, you're now in charge. Feige's coming to you and saying, Linz, okay, how are you going to market this Secret Wars movie? They know what happened in Doomsday, so how are you going to market it? How would you market it so that you don't give it all away, but you still get them excited for it? Wait, one thing, especially people that are not familiar with the MCU so far or comic books or anything. They just want to see this cool movie that everybody's talking about. How would you market it to them without spoiling everything?
Oh my gosh, I have no idea. Post the same clip over and over again. That's my marketing tactic.
I mean, kind of does that. I mean, when you're looking at your clips, doesn't it just repeat on a loop all the time anyway?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. And that's what I was gonna say too. Like, I think, like specifically with Doomsday, I feel like going back to like, do we really need a trailer? I feel like with Doomsday specifically, even more, it's like, okay, actually, yeah, because like we were gonna do Kang, and then there was like a switch, and then like there was kind of not a lead up, sort of, but sort of a lead up. And so I feel like with Doomsday specifically, it's like, okay, maybe if we see a little bit, maybe it makes sense. I don't know. Especially for like people that have not been like catching up with Marvel, it's like, Steve's back? What? How is Steve back? I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know. It depends. I don't know.
Well, Emily, you want to say anything before I jump in with this final thing?
I think for me it's just, no pun intended, but keeping it a secret. How do you gotta keep a majority of the movie a secret, I think.
But I mean, they tried that, and look, you know, everybody hates them. They're gonna be there, obviously, for Doomsday. Even if they say no, they'll be there. But, you know, I hate the Russos. I hate them that they're always doing this to us. Like, no, they didn't say nothing. They just said surprise. They didn't say a trailer.
But I don't know. And I think, is it like that kind of public, like, I don't know. I hate them, but I wanted more of them. Like, I don't know. I think it's like this factor of like, it's a good hate, I guess, to me. I'm like, create a kind of good hate where it's kind of like, oh, they didn't give me this, but now it just makes me want to see this thing even more. This makes me want to like go and see like what it is that they were hiding from me, what they were keeping from me, kind of hate.
You know, our new show producer Jenny, she's not here, but she's very familiar because that's what she studied to be a journalist. She knows this. There's a term that I'm not a journalist, but I spent decades in news broadcast. There's a term, and I'm sure both of you have heard it, that says if it bleeds, it leads. It's kind of the same thing here. There's also a saying with marketing people. Any publicity is good publicity, even if it's so and so murdered somebody. Well, they're talking about me. I mean, it's a twisted way to think of things, but they're still talking about you. Kind of the same thing here. Yeah, you're right, Emily. Where just that fan anger, MCU fan anger, that I hate the Russos. They're teasing me again. Well, yeah, right there, tease, tease. That's what it is. It's a tease. If you go back again, like we're talking about back issues of comic books. If you go back and listen to some of the original episodes in seasons 1, 2, and 3 of the Geek Speak show, you'll hear I did a lot of that. That in fact I can say that's the reason why Jeff Loeb, when he came on back then, he came on a few times. He was then the head of Marvel TV, doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all the shows that they did back then. That's the reason why he brought me up to Kevin Feige, because his words I learned later were, Henry knows how to play our game, and that game is you throw some things out, some breadcrumbs, and let them decide. Wait, is this true? Could that be true? Is this going to lead to that? Today, they take it, like Linz was saying, it goes a little bit overboard where if they show you 1, 2, 3 clips, then everybody starts piecing it together. And with AI, that's a whole new wrinkle that gets thrown in. Now they're creating their own scenes. Like, oh, this is the way it's going to be. And then when you get the movie and it's not even close to what your AI slop put together, then you hate. Oh, I hate it. It didn't go the way I wanted. No, I hate this. This is the worst movie ever. So it's all of that put together. So I don't know if there's an answer or not. Mine, the old guy talking here, I say no. We don't need a trailer for Doomsday. If we do get one, I would say, I don't know, maybe 5:46 p.m. Pacific time, July 23rd, Saturday in Hall H out of San Diego. I mean, that would be the perfect time, and then tie it to brand new day after that. But in a second, I'm going to take a break. In a second, Emily has one more issue. You'll find out what that is in a moment.
Alrighty, and we're back to the issues of the day. So it's interesting. Henry did bring this up earlier in the previous issue where we come into trailers as we're asking ourselves about characters. Linz ended up bringing a good point when it comes to women leads in superhero roles. And that gets us wondering for later this month. We have Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, coming out. And this gets me to wonder, do we think that this Supergirl movie is going to engage with some pressing social issues, or is it just going to be more like a classic origin story? But also, I do have a bone to pick with this trailer and some of the things I've sort of seen already with the content that we've been getting so far of this movie. But what do you think, Lance? I'm kind of curious about already your standpoint, because from the previous issue. So I'm like, okay, this is the perfect person that I want to hear, a little bit of their side of what they think about, Supergirl so far.
Okay, so first of all, again, I'm not a big, I'm mainly Marvel, but I am excited for this movie. I think literally the reason why is because it's a woman lead, and I'm like, anytime there's a woman lead, girl, I'm gonna be there supporting you. You already know. And I think, well, based off what I've seen, it's gonna go a lot based off the comic, and I haven't read the comic. Sue me. My little brother actually has it. I've been trying to read it, but I'll get to it. And I think I'm not sure if because you mentioned again if it's gonna tackle social issues or if it's gonna be more kind of a straightforward character driven story. And I think based off what I've seen, it's a lot based on her trauma and how she's mentally and emotionally or whatever the case may be. So I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm excited either way.
Now, what do you think, Henry? Because I know I've brought this up, my thoughts on Supergirl so far, but you want to tell our viewers what you think?
No, not really. I'm going to go out to lunch for a second. No, the one thing I didn't tell you the other night when we were talking about this, because I had a feeling it was going to come up either on a Geek Speak episode or on Issues of the Day, and here it is. The one thing is today's a day of surprises from the Marvel people. The other Marvel, not me, the other one that's here with us, actually is excited about a DCEU movie. And then sometimes the last few years or few projects, Trent Tucker from Geek Off the Street, who has always been Mr. DC when he comes on the show. He's hating everything that James Gunn and DC is doing, but he loves some of the things that Marvel has recently put out, which, again, weird world that we live in. It can't get any weirder than that. It's kind of the same thing here, where I am, again, hey, James. James Gunn has been a friend since before the first Guardians of the movie came out, and he's plugged the Geek Speak show, told people to go listen, all of that. So he's a friend. I'm not just talking bad of him just because he's part of DC, part of Distinguished Competition. But I haven't liked the direction that he's taken the DC film part, and especially with this one. Most of the world, whether they've read a comic book or not, they know who Superman is. They know who Batman is. Whether you know the lore or the stories or the after Infinite World, the Crisis on Infinite, the multiverse, basically. If you're not familiar with DC, their multiverse. Even after all of that, all those iterations, and now the absolute storylines. Even if you're not familiar with any of those, everyone knows who Superman is, who Batman is. So you kind of don't really need an origin story when you do their movies. However, Supergirl, whether good, bad, for whatever, not everyone is as familiar with Supergirl. Some people from a certain age group, they remember the Helen Slater movie. That's all they know about Supergirl. Others remember I think it happened or was going to happen with Laura Vandervoort, where she was going to play or didn't play a version of Supergirl. And there's been other versions of Supergirls in the young Superman series that was on the CW. That's about the extent that they know about Supergirl. The comic book readers, obviously, they're quite familiar, but there weren't a lot of them, let's be honest. So my issue with this movie is that it's not being treated as an origin movie. If any movie needs an origin movie, it's this one. You do need to see it from the very beginning. Who are you? Why are you? That's not like Drax, but like, what is this? Why we had a Superman? Why a Supergirl? Why does she not start off as a Superwoman? Does she ever become a Superwoman, or does she stay Supergirl forever? And what does that exactly mean? That's the conversation you and I had, Emily, the other night, about Supergirl and how. What did you say? How'd you put it? I don't want to say the wrong thing. How did you put it the other night?
No, and and I'm really glad you brought that up. When it comes to like the super aspect, the superhero, I find it really interesting that it's either you're in one of two places. You're either a young little girl who's being a superhero, like a teenage girl, which makes sense. Like we have Miss Marvel, we have younger superhero girls, or you're on the opposite end where you're like Barbara Gordon and you're Batgirl.
Yeah.
But she's like more of a woman at that point. Like she's a older
she's not
woman.
10.
Yeah, she's not 10 years. Yeah, she's not 10 years old. So what is it like this? And I feel like it's not a story that we talk about a lot. We do have like coming of age stories when they're teenagers, and we have more of a life story when they're full adults. But it's like, what is this in between? This transition of like from your teens into becoming a young adult. That's kind of where I think where Supergirl is. Like she's in this transition period of becoming from girl to woman. So it's kind of like, does she become a woman? Is she just a girl forever, even though she's faced a lot of things in life?
Yeah,
and that kind of like.
Yeah, no, as I said, like all the issues we bring up here, they always branch out in different ones. So let me throw this back at both of you, because both of you brought this up in the last segment. Lynn's actually brought up first is she wants to see more women in a trailer or anything, or just women, period. And I'll bring it up here again because Emily, that's what you're saying about this one. But socially, when you say social issues, what do you mean by social issues? Before I say something else.
I mean, social issues as to what we got from the Superman movie, to be honest. We got him questioning what does it mean to be human? What does it mean, coming from another place and, being deemed as not human? Um, that kind of social issue, I think, was really prevalent in the Superman movie. So it's kind of like, are we going to get something similar with this movie? Or is it just more focused on an inward thing more than like a social thing?
See, the thing with that is that is usually the way most people would describe social issues. The problem with that is that's not what social issues means. That's an American view of social issues, but being human doesn't mean the same for somebody in Pakistan or in Ireland or in Germany or even in Alaska, for that matter, even though it is in the U.S., but it's a different lifestyle. If you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. But everyone's idea of being human is different. Now, if you're talking about being decent, that's a whole different argument too. So social, especially now, like I mentioned in the last segment, when the label woke is thrown at everything, that when you say social issues, that's kind of like, I understand why Kevin Feige hates when I call the Endgame re-release, when I call it the special edition, because when you say not just for Star Wars, when you say special edition tied to anything, people have a negative view of special edition because we don't like when George special editioned Star Wars, because he basically changed what the spirit of Star Wars, what it was. Not so much the movie, the technical side. Okay, it's your movie, do what you want. But by doing that, you change the soul of Star Wars, of the characters, what they were about. So when you say special edition, that has that connotation. When today, 2026, after the last 6 years, almost 7 years that we've been through all of this, all these the summer of love, as they call it, when all this started, when anyone hears social anything, right away you think, oh, they must hate me because I'm white. They must hate, I must be racist. That's immediately what people think. That's why I don't like attaching that to anything really, but especially not to comic book movies or fantasy movies, because they're fantasy movies. They first of all, not about real life. That's the first thing. They may make a statement about it, but they're not about real life. We as humans, good luck with that, shouldn't base our behaviors on what we see characters do. Characters should reflect what we do, what we behave, or be above and beyond, stand for, like Superman. I think the Bryan Singer one, that caused an issue because he changed one little line that has always been part of Superman's lore: truth, justice, and the American way. And the line was changed to truth, justice, and all that stuff. And that ruffled feathers. I'm sure it was just here in America, but still. So what I'm saying is, when you bring up social issues that we wanted to be as social issues in a first movie for a character that not too many people are familiar with, do you really want to attach that stigma, if you will, to their origin story, to the first movie? Is that what it's going to be? Or should it be, like I said a minute ago, this is who she is, this is what she is, this is why she is, and then, oh yeah, these are the things, this is her hero's journey, and there's this Jason Momoa's Lobo, he plays this part in it. See, that there is a good superhero movie that also makes a statement on not social, but just it is. And I don't want to spoil too much, but if you've read the comic book Women of Tomorrow, you know it could get pretty deep, pretty dark really quick. So if they cover that, I think that's where you're going. Well, they can't see you, but nod yes, if that's what you mean.
I think like when that question was asked, I think the way that I saw it was like, is the film going to have something meaningful to say? Because that's what I love about, like, for example, Superman. Like, it had something, that you came out of it with a message, that you felt so impacted and you felt like you wanted to do so good. Like, everyone was talking about that. So again, going back to Emily's question, I think I understand, I think even if it's, just a straightforward origin story, like, it could still have something meaningful coming out of it. Like, again, it's her own like inner struggle and stuff. And I think there's a lot that's going to be said from that. And that's why I'm so excited. And I think with like anything like Star Wars, like you mentioned, like there's always a message coming out. Like, everything is like, fiction is based on real, or like, it has influences from our life. So I think anything like it, or I think, yeah.
Yeah.
See, and that's like kind of the parts where it's like, I hope that none of that gets overlooked when it comes to this movie. And I feel like, and that's another thing I wanted to bring up that I think has ruffled my feathers a little bit, the way that people have been treating like the trailers or the little sneak peeks and things that we get from this movie, is the interesting stick that we're getting waved in our face, a little carrot on the stick to get us to watch this movie or to at least interact with the content, has been Superman. And I feel like that's something I've been seeing a lot, where a lot of people are like, oh my God, we're getting this clip of Superman and Supergirl, and oh my God, Superman said this and Superman this and that in the trailer or in the sneak peek. And for me, I get the feeling that they're trying to bring people in to watch this movie, not because it's a Supergirl movie, but it's because Superman's in the Supergirl movie.
Well, wait,
And
let me add to this. I don't know if you've noticed, because, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I've also noticed Crypto is also in a lot of the clips. So it's either Superman or, look, there's a cute puppy, a cute dog, Crypto. So it's one of the,
Or
it's
Lobo
not
too,
Supergirl,
no?
it's one of the two.
yeah, and Lobo, yeah, that's something.
Lobo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
and
saw. I think. Sorry, I think it was like a popcorn bucket. Someone was like talking about how like the popcorn bucket, like or like I don't know, it was like something like that was the one that like looked like they spent more time on, or like it was bigger. I don't know. I thought that was funny.
yeah, it's like, okay, is this the Supergirl movie or is it the Superman Lobo Crypto movie? Is it like whose movie is this? And it's interesting too. We're getting a lot of things. I've been seeing kind of like, I wouldn't say leaks, but just a lot of photos from, they're already recording Man of Tomorrow. And people are like, oh my God, Man of Tomorrow. I'm like, guys, there's a movie coming out later this month that we should be a little bit more focused on than a movie that's coming out in a year from now. Like, I think your priorities are a little like in two different places right now. But yeah, like, how is it that we're getting like a Lobo popcorn bucket? It's a Supergirl movie. I'm like really confused by that.
Wait, are
But
you saying
it's-
DC has a Marvel problem? Like everybody's worried about Doomsday, but oh, by the way, there's a Spider-Man movie coming first before that. Just saying.
Okay, but Spider-Man, you know, like no matter what, Spider-Man's gonna.
he's gonna do good, but that's what makes me worried. That if this girl movie flop, and then you could say the same thing with Marvel on the Marvel side. When a female-led movie flops, it's because it's a woman that's the main character. Oh, like nobody's gonna watch more movies like this, so we should just probably lay low on making women-led movies and just focus on the other things we were already doing. That's the sucky part to me. I don't want this movie to fail. I don't want these movies to keep failing when they keep putting a woman in the front of the cover, and it creates that same point. And it's the same thing even with Star Wars too, that we can see. Oh, because we had this woman leading Star Wars. Oh, it sucked because she was a woman. She didn't understand Star Wars, which that's a whole other issue of the day. But it kind of falls in that same track where it's like when we get women in these positions and they don't do as well, it's this weird pointing of fingers of that bit of misogyny of like, oh well, it's because she's a woman. Why do I want to watch a woman movie? And that's like brings up the thing that happened to a friend of mine recently where he was wearing the Super Crest, the shirt, and this guy comes up to him and he's like, oh, is that a Supergirl shirt? And the guy's like, well, they wear the same logo, so it could be like either or. And this guy it just seemed like he was ready to pick a fight. Oh, you're wearing the Supergirl logo or the Superman logo, but it's the same thing. So it's like, I can just see it already in fans and people that they're ready to put these two things in two different categories.
This is an issue.
It also doesn't help.
Yeah, go ahead, Linz.
I was gonna say it also doesn't help that like again I'm excited, but also like Supergirl, well, it's attached to Superman. She's like she's a what's the word? A deviation? Is that so it's like it's like we see often how like with women characters it's like, or also just like in general people of color, it's like it's a deviation of like the
Yeah, like Captain America and like Steve's Captain America, and then yeah.
Sam
So
Wilson,
it's like Sam Wilson, yeah.
yeah,
like-
it would be nice for everyone to, or like for there to be like original characters of more women, more people of color, etc., etc. But go on.
You're right, because in the Brave New World, the Captain America movie, and I'm looking at the poster in front of me as I say that, but I actually spoke to the writer at WonderCon last year, but he was there for another movie. I wanted to ask him that because it's literally a line in the movie where the president of the U.S. tells him, "You're not Steve Rogers." That's Harrison Ford. That's my best Harrison Ford. But he tells him, "You're not Steve Rogers," and we were like, talk about saying the quiet part out loud. Yeah, we know that. That's kind of the point. So I was about to say second before Lindsay jumped in. This is an issue that we three are not going to fix. If we could, believe me, we could have already. But there's the crypto, if you want to say, the Superman, Supergirl, the super being in the world, in the room, like the elephant in the room, that we're all tiptoeing around. We all know what it is. And that is this world, comic books, sci-fi, all this stuff has always been the domain of boys. We just had a perfect, clear example of that a couple weekends ago with Masters of the Universe. He-Man. I mean, it's in the name, He-Man. That was actually Mattel's dance boys Barbie. That's what it was back then, because there was that attitude. There was that attitude. Boys don't play with dolls. Yeah, they didn't. They don't not because any other reason other than we knew back then this is a boy toy, this is the girl's toy. You guys play with your own stuff. Nobody had any issue with it. But that has carried on to our entertainment, kind of like we were mentioning in the last segment, where it reflects our behaviors and the norms that we have. So this one, I think a lot of the and I don't know if you're familiar with who it is, Emily, that's hating already on Supergirl. It hasn't even come out yet, so I don't know what you guys are hating yet. But does it skew men and older, like my age or older than that, or is it younger guys, or is it just about everywhere? Because I would guess, if I was to guess, I would guess that it's guys my age or older that are hating on this Supergirl movie because it's a girl. No other reason. No, they don't care about James Gunn. None of that. It's a girl. There's only one superhero, and it's Superman. Walk into a comic book store, you'll see that it isn't. That's not the case. So there's a little bit of that. And like I said, we three, we're not gonna fix that issue. That's an issue that we as a society, well, America especially, as an American society, we just have to grow up. Grow the F up and grow out of that. We're going that way, but obviously we're not there yet because we're seeing this hate. I think that's what it is. Emily's not saying that, but I don't no filter with me. I don't hold back. I told you that I think that's what it is. It's just the fact that it's a girl. It's not a Superman. It's even if it was Superwoman, they don't care. Now they're gonna give you the obvious. The yeah, but is gonna be, but we went to watch Wonder Woman. Okay, yay, but it was still, you still saw some pushback on that. Like, well, it failed because it's a woman in the lead. It didn't fail. First of all, it was a good one. The second one, not so much, but it was a good movie, and it was a good introduction to a hero that, again, like Superman. Take that back. What I said earlier, I would add Wonder Woman to that. The whole world knows Batman. The whole world knows Superman. The whole world knows Wonder Woman, whether from the show or some from the comic book, but everybody knows Wonder Woman. Even if you don't know her story, you never read the comic book. So that may have played a little bit into it. But again, this Supergirl is one that is not as popular as Wonder Woman. Hawkgirl was in Superman. Not everybody, DC fans knew her, but not everybody knew her. She just showed up, and I know there were a lot of people that said, "Huh? Who is this? Where did this come from?" So she didn't get a backstory, not much. I mean, if you knew it, you knew it. It's kind of one of those if you know, you know kind of thing. So that's what I'm saying is that's what I'm hoping to see in the Supergirl movie. Not just put her right into the trauma and be the hero, but tell us, like I said, who is she? What is she? And I don't like it either. You and I talked about this, Emily. I don't like that. Yeah, they are shoehorning Crypto and Superman in there, and they'll never admit it, but that is why. I'm sure it's not James Gunn. Like with 100% accuracy, I can say it's not James Gunn. It's the marketing people, the DC people, who owns Warner Brothers or whoever still owns them. It's them. They're worried that, again, what I said, they're worried that guys aren't going to want to go see a girl movie, a Supergirl movie. So let's tell them that Superman is in it. Look, let's show them that Superman is in it. That's the only reason why. It's not because there's a connection. This movie could stand on its own without showing Superman. You could mention, oh yeah, he's my cousin, not even show him. People would be fine. Give us a great story. Now the other thing is, I have seen this. I'm sure you guys have too. I've seen it on YouTube. I've seen it on TikTok and everything else. They have a problem with the way the actress Millie Alcock, the way she looks. So
oh my gosh! Don't get me started. It's all over.
Well, I did. So
Yeah.
you take it. I started it. You guys take it. Lit the fuse. Okay. Take it.
I wanted to say, I think it's so interesting because going back to like, yes, for the longest time, people have been socialized that you fit in one category or the other. You can't move from there, right? And I think, like, for example, me, like growing up, as a girl, enjoying Marvel, like I branched out from that category, right? Like I didn't listen, like that's not for girls, whatever, right? And I think it's so interesting that like women typically are able to move and like enjoy things. Like for the longest time, we did not have a female lead, a woman lead, yet I was there watching all the Marvel movies, even though most of them were, again, males in the lead, men in the lead. And I think we don't see that from men or boys often. Like they're not willing to do that, right? And again, it's just because of like how socialized we've been for that. And I think with men, it's particularly harder to like be more open and willing to like connect with a character that like isn't, a man or a boy. So I don't know. I think we got to get more comfortable, guys. Like I think like the point of stories is just to connect on with the character. Again, I think Henry said that earlier. Connect with the story, and it doesn't matter who the person is. Like I don't know. I think it's hard to like, again, make someone else be interested in a story of a woman or a story of like a woman of color or a woman of color, a person of color. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it's so interesting that like, everybody can relate to Spider-Man. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody relates to Spider-Man or everybody relates to Superman. I see girls are like, oh my God, Superman, he's just like me. I'm just like him. Or I'm just like Luke Skywalker. I'm just like all these male lead characters, and women can like really relate to all these like male driven characters. But the other way around, like you said, Linz, I think we don't see the other way around. Oh, I can't relate to a woman. I can't relate to these feminized ideas. I can't. No, that's not me. I'm a man. I shouldn't relate to things like that. So it's like I don't know. I just find it so interesting why gender, why who that person is should determine how you relate to them, how it makes you feel, how their story fits into maybe your own. So yeah, I think, and like Henry says, that's why I find so interesting about this marketing. We have to put the not Spider-Man, Superman and Lobo and all these other characters just for people to have some kind of an interest to come see this movie. And so I'm not gonna say I'm really, really hoping that this movie, shows people that people are willing to come out and see a women-led movie. And I think we saw that when it came to Barbie, but I find that so interesting with Barbie. There was Oppenheimer. There was another guy movie. Like it was like there somehow, some way you have to have a woman movie, but you have to have some kind of like male thing so guys could come out and see it.
So I think it's hard, but I think we have, I mean, obviously seen a shift of it, people becoming more welcoming and stuff, but it's gonna be a process. We can see.
Yeah.
There's another side, and I don't want to go too long, but there's another side that no one seems to be talking about, whether in the geek cult atmosphere or just in general. But it's specific to geek culture, to us, to geeks, to nerds, and that is, we've always been made fun of. We've always been weird. We always were different. Not just because there's a girl, boy, there's a guy. It's just weird because you like science fiction, you like fantasy, comic books, all that stuff. We're always going to be weird. We're not athletic. That's the stereotype. The other thing we're not good at, we don't know how to talk to girls. We don't. So Do you think that plays a little part into not embracing female leads? The fact that in the stereotype, yes and no, but in general, most nerds, most nerdy guys, they don't know how to talk to girls anyway.
No, and
You're good.
you go ahead.
I was gonna say it's one thing talk about talking to girls, and it's the other one just listening to their story and enjoying it or trying to enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I agree also with you, Henry. I'm out there in the front lines, in the and trying to sell my comic books and trying to talk to guys about my story, and it's like that is also hard to sell to guys. It's like, oh, and I've personally thought, and I'm gonna share this as a kind of a secret, not a secret, but I actually thought about, just changing my name, what I was gonna be publishing it under. I was thinking of publishing it under like a guy name and just kind of like have somebody go in as me and, they'll sell my books and stuff, but it'll all be my own stuff. But it was going to be some other person selling it for me. And it would be a whole other name. And I don't know what in me was like, why did I get to that point? Why did I think that I should do that? And you're right, Henry. It's the way that, men can't talk to women. I can't sell my stuff without them, looking at me and they're like, is your boyfriend around? Is your boyfriend gonna be mad if I talk to you? And it's like, no, I'm here to talk to you about my book. It does not matter who's accompanying me. Like, I'm here as an artist, as a writer. You should respect me as one. And I just find that so interesting when that weird disconnect, I guess. But yeah, I've thought about doing that, and maybe that might help me put my stuff out there. But I thought to myself, why do I need to do all that? Why do I need to present as a man for a man to buy myself when they should be comfortable to come up to me and talk to me and, want to interact and talk about what it is that I have to say?
As Sean Clem would say if he was here, a hoe. And also he would say that's a whole smoke break. That's a whole deep conversation that we need to schedule for us. But yeah, no, I wanted to throw that in because that could play a little bit into the not so negative. It's just you just don't know how to talk to girls. That's how to identify or anything with them. That's the one thing. So yeah, that's an issue that we
gotta learn, guys. Let's try.
Yeah, it's an issue that we three are not going to solve here. I don't think anybody is really anytime soon. We're making strides. Again, to quote Gene Roddenberry from Star Trek, we're still young, we're still learning, but when we grow up, boy, we're going to be something. That's what he said. Can't wait. There's this. I was smiling when you were saying that story, Emily, because wait until we get to the Star Trek special episode, the anniversary episode. And I don't know if you've heard about this or you got to that part yet. Some of the writers, one of the biggest writers on Star Trek, the original series, that's exactly the route she took because Gene Roddenberry fought for her. But the studio back then didn't want her to write because she was a woman. No other reason. She was a great writer, but some of the episodes she wrote are some of the classic ones, the iconic episodes. But she had to use a different name. Most you Star Trek fans, you know who I'm talking about. And yes, we'll bring her up on that episode. And Emily, think you'll enjoy those stories. There's some, know them probably as a historian. There's a lot of people, writers in the comic book world that have done that. Have either go by their initials, or they use a different pen name, a male sounding pen name for the very reason you just said. Sad, but sometimes you gotta hustle the way you gotta hustle. You want at the end of the day, we all just want to sell. We all want to make a buck. So there's the issues of the day. We weren't gonna go long, but like always, you can't shut us up once we get going. But another reminder before we get out of here, the Geek Speak Show, we're gonna go on break, our summer vacation, I guess, for the next 2 weeks. So you won't hear new episodes the next couple over 4th of July weekend that's coming up. You won't hear there. We haven't gone anywhere. We're just we're not doing episodes, but we're going to be very busy behind the scenes. You'll hear it and see it when we come back. When we do come back, just in time for the Countdown to Comic-Con, the annual Countdown to Comic-Con episode, it's going to be pretty special. It's going to be a couple of new things that we're going to share on that one, and then we get ready for our events in the fall at Fullerton. the Geek Speak Expo. There's a lot of panels, a lot of the things you heard us talk about today. They're going to come up in those, especially the one that Emily is doing. It's called Women in Comics. I'm pretty sure these topics can be covered there, and we'd have to do our own event just for the answers that the ladies can give on that panel. So that is coming up. All the info for everything to get your badges, thegeekspeakshow.com. Linz, before we go, you are our special guest. Thanks for coming on. But let everybody know, it's on the description, but let everybody know where they can follow you and see everything that you do.
Yes, you can follow me at Link Soapbox on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube too. I'll post eventually. We'll see.
Yes, you might even be in movies and TV and all kinds of things. Whatever's new in your brain, that chip they're going to put in there, she'll probably be in there too. Again, everything on the show description. Follow her. If you're not, you can thank me later. You will. So that's the topics. Still no, as we're recording this, still no trailer. We didn't get a trailer, right? Nobody got any notifications that we got a trailer for Doomsday while we were talking.
No, not yet.
Actually, we're checking. No trailer yet, but it's okay. But again, join us at our Geek Speak X. By the time you go there, you will know what it is. You will have the trailer by then. So come on back next week, and as always, we'll do in 2 weeks, and we'll do what, Emily?
We'll speak more geek.